New York is a state in the mid-Atlantic and northeastern regions of the United States. It was one of the original 13 colonies forming the United States, with a total area of 54,555 square miles. New York is the 27th largest state. Its population of more than 19 million people as of 2020 makes it the fourth most populous state in the U.S. The state is bordered by New Jersey and Pennsylvania to the south and Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont to the east. It has a maritime border with Rhode Island, east of Long Island, as well as an international border with the Canadian provinces of Quebec to the north and Ontario to the northwest. It is sometimes referred to as New York State to distinguish it from New York City, which is its largest city. Two-thirds of the state's population lives in the New York City metropolitan area, with an estimated population of 8.36 million in 2019. New York City is the most populous city in the United States and the premier gateway for immigration to the United States. The New York City metropolitan area is one of the most populous in the world. A global city, New York City is home to the United Nations headquarters, and has been described as the cultural, financial, and media capital of the world, as well as the world's most economically powerful city. The next four most populous cities in the state are Buffalo, Rochester, Yonkers, and Syracuse, while the state capital is Albany. New York has a diverse geography. The southern part of the state is in the Atlantic coastal plain and includes Long Island and several smaller associated islands, as well as New York City and the lower Hudson River Valley. The large upstate New York region comprises several ranges of the wider Appalachian Mountains and the Adirondack Mountains in the northeastern lobe of the state. The north-south Hudson River Valley and the east-west Mohawk River Valley bisect these more mountainous regions. Western New York is considered part of the Great Lakes region and borders on Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and Niagara Falls. The central part of the state is dominated by the Finger Lakes, a popular vacation and tourist destination. New York had been inhabited by tribes of Algonquin and Iroquoian-speaking Native Americans for several hundred years by the time the earliest Europeans came to New York. French colonists and Jesuit missionaries arrived southward from Montreal for trade and proselytizing. In 1609, the region was visited by Henry Hudson sailing for the Dutch East India Company. The Dutch built Fort Nassau in 1614 at the confluence of the Hudson and Mohawk rivers, where the present-day capital of Albany later developed. The Dutch soon also settled New Amsterdam and parts of the Hudson Valley, establishing the multicultural colony of New Netherland, a center of trade and immigration. England seized the colony from the Dutch in 1664. During the American Revolutionary War, a group of colonists of the province of New York attempted to take control of the British colony, and eventually succeeded in establishing independence. In the 19th century, New York's development of the interior, beginning with the Erie Canal, gave it incomparable advantages over other regions of the East Coast and built its political and cultural ascendancy. Many landmarks in New York are well known, including 4 of the world's 10 most visited tourist attractions in 2013, Times Square, Central Park, Niagara Falls, and Grand Central Terminal. New York is home to the Statue of Liberty. In the 21st century, New York has emerged as a global node of creativity and entrepreneurship, social tolerance, and environmental sustainability. New York has approximately 200 colleges and universities, including the State University of New York. Several have been ranked among the top 100 in the nation and world. The tribes in what is now New York were predominantly Haudenosaunee and Algonquin. Long Island was divided roughly in half between the Wampanoag and Lenape. The Lenape also controlled most of the region surrounding New York Harbor. North of the Lenape was a third Algonquin nation, the Mohicans. Starting north of them, from east to west, were 3 Iroquoian nations, the Mohawk, the original Iroquois and the Petun. South of them, divided roughly along Appalachia, were the Susquehannock and the Erie. Many of the Wampanoag and Mohican peoples were caught up in King Philip's War, a joint effort of many New England tribes to push Europeans off their land. After the death of their leader, Chief Philip Metacoma, most of those peoples fled inland, splitting into the Abenaki and the Shagtako. Many of the Mohicans remained in the region until the 1800s. However, a small group known as the Aubeno migrated southwest into West Virginia at an earlier time. They may have merged with the Shawnee. The Mohawk and Susquehannock were the most militaristic, trying to corner trade with the Europeans. They targeted other tribes. The Mohawk were also